Hi, my name is Alyssa and I draw cartoons and cartoony things. This week I'm continuing my series of sketching all Animal Crossing characters from A to Z. This week's letters are F and G because there wasn't enough of either letter to justify a standalone video, just like last week's video where D and E were combined. Next week I think it's H, I, and J combined into one video because there's like 3 I letter villagers, so I had to combine H, I, and J together to make a cohesive video for that. So don't really have much to report this week since I'm recording this at the same time as 4 other episodes, so with this brief intro out of the way, let's get right into the sketches. We begin the F and G names with Faith, another villager with an island flower on her head that I had never heard of before. I think it's all the villagers that have flowers on their head I had never seen before, because I don't think I've ever had a villager with a flower on their head in any of my games, even since GameCube and beyond. And I've played all the mainline Animal Crossing games except for, what was the DS one? I forget, Wild World? Yeah, I didn't have that one, but I've played the GameCube one and City Folk and New Leaf and, unfortunately, Pocket Camp. But yeah, I've had all those games, but I've never had a villager with a flower on their head. Felicity is a really cute, I like her hair. Like, I find it interesting that they're animals, but some of them have hair and some of them don't. Like, some of them have human haircuts and some don't. And the ones with the human hair, like Carmen the Rabbit, look the best in, like, Pocket Camp when you get to dress them up because they look kind of like little people. Aw, Feline. Sorry, I might have to pause on her for a second just because her eyes, like the character, not the way I drew it is okay too, but like just the character design is so sweet looking. Like, I'm really impressed with how cute she is. Filbert, I had to put in the thumbnail. Not much to say. He's a fan favorite. He's cute. He's blue. He's a squirrel. What more can you ask for? Philly, again, I love the animals that have the built-in accessories. I think I mentioned in the last video. Oh, this guy, he has a little hat too. Oh, I like the head shape I did there where it's like flat on the top to like mimic how low polygon the bird is in the actual game. I kind of should do more stuff like that where I make it like more square or pointy. But what was I saying? I love the villagers that have built-in accessories like helmets and hats and bows and, or not bows, but like flowers in their hair and stuff like that and glasses. It adds a little more interest to them. And like I have to exaggerate. For example, I had to puff the hair up on her to give her a little depth because they're flat to the head by the nature of them being flat textures in Animal Crossing, but I like to emphasize the hair when I get a chance, when they do have hair that I can puff out. And like with the flamingo there that I just passed by, I already forgot the name, but the flamingo, I added like little tufts of hair on the top of the head just because it adds a little something. Flurry, I had Flurry in my New Leaf town. I don't remember if Flurry was in the speed paint video I did of my New Leaf villagers or if like I swapped Flurry out for somebody else, but love that cute little chubby hamster. Very cute for winter. Love a wintry town. Love a snowy town. And the white snowy colored villagers. Here's the other rabbit. I couldn't remember her name. I talked about how I find... You know what? Francine's not as creepy because her eyes are not the... Was there another bunny that has the creepy Chrissy eyes or is it just Chrissy? You know what? This whole time in my mind I thought that the other blue rabbit had the creepy eyes. I'm wrong. She doesn't. Her eyes are perfectly fine. But Chrissy's eyes, the pink polka dot rabbit... Scary. Creepy. Not a fan. Freckles. What an unfortunate looking duck because to me the pink with the like freckles, it looks like skin, like flesh with acne. Not the cutest. I did my best. Sorry, Freckles. Freya. I know a lot of people are waiting for the final full color art of Freya because she is another fan favorite because her coloration is beautiful and she's also just really cute. So I'm looking forward to doing the full color final art of that villager, as well as Frigga. I think they're going to look really good next to each other, assuming that I get to post them in the same row on Instagram, because the pinks and purples and blues are all going to look really nice together on the grid. I think that'll be fun to do. And this was the last one named Frida too? I'm losing my mind. These videos go by so fast. This one that looks like a little hamburger and french fries. So cute. I love the food villagers. I did a speed paint of the food villagers. I kind of want to revisit it and redo it in the future, but I might just dump the speed paint on here just because I have the footage on my iPad, but it's not a piece that I'm super proud of anymore, but people seem to like it, so maybe I'll put it up. But I did all the villagers that are like made of food, the ones that are like supposed to look like food items, like Chatter the cheese mouse and Frida the burgers and fries sheep, and they're like working in a fast food restaurant serving fast food. If you've followed my art for a while, you've probably seen it, but I should put the speed paint up actually. I might as well, like while I'm uploading all this Animal Crossing stuff, might as well. Fuchsia has one of the more interesting color palettes of any of the animals in the game, I think, because first of all I love like really garish saturated colors like that. But second of all, I wonder, like, if you could see who designed each of the villagers in the game, because it couldn't have been one person designing every single villager, it must have been a whole team, right? So I wonder if, like, the designer who created Fuchsia also created, like, Stitches and the other, like, very vibrant, saturated colors. Here I am adding, again, the colors as I do at the end of all the speed paint videos, and we're going to be moving on to the G villagers very soon. And here are all the G villagers, starting with Gabby, who I'd never heard of, but he's just a friendly little rabbit, Peppy. Not much to say about him, just a cute little rabbit waving hello. I don't know, I've never heard of him, so I don't know what to say about him. Gala, does she have 2 flowers in the actual art? Yeah, but she's really, I love pigs, like in real life. I think pigs are just the sweetest thing ever. Oh, there's 2 pigs in a row, great. And here's one of the amiibo villagers, Ganon, and there's also Wolf Link, and I think there's another one, I can't recall, but somebody had asked forever ago on Reddit, they're like, you're not gonna skip the amiibo villagers, are you? I'm like, no, don't worry, I got them. Like, I'm following, all these reference images are from an Animal Crossing fan wiki that I guess I should link in the description below. I'm just using all of their alphabetical order names and just taking screenshots and moving the screenshots onto my iPad and drawing from the reference. So if it's in the Wikipedia, I am drawing it, and I'm skipping over the duplicates as best as I can, because there are a couple that are like villagers that got renamed or whatever, so that's why when I say there's 450-ish villagers, because I originally confidently was like there's 452, and then I found out I had a duplicate file of like a villager that got renamed. I'm like, there's 451, but I could be wrong, there's probably like 448 or something, but yeah. So Gigi, cute little purple frog. I love that the snooty villagers, so like I'd come up with the different color palettes, the limited color palettes you see at the top. I went to a color palette generator, which is where all the screenshots are from. I think it's just called like Peloton or something like that. And I was like, snooty, that to me is like a purple and green like villainy thing, but then I tweaked it to be like purple and teal. Not even looking really at all the villagers as I was coming up with the color schemes, just thinking like, what colors to me say snooty, what colors to me say peppy. Turns out a lot of the snooty villagers use shades of purple and teal, so it was actually a really serendipitous palette choice, because I very rarely have to go out of the limited palette to color the snooty villagers, which is really fun. There's a couple snooty villagers that have reds or whatever that I kind of cheat the reds for or whatever, but in general I stick pretty closely to the color palette, and it turns out pretty good, if I do say so myself. There's some that like I have a lot of trouble with. For example, the Cranky palette is pretty limited. Like, the yellow there is pretty dingy, there's no blue, and there's no red, so I'm missing 2 out of 3 primary colors, and it's really hard to like bend these shades to match, but luckily the Cranky villagers usually have pretty dull colors, so. Graham, he looks like such a little nerd with his little glasses. I love when the villagers have glasses, but they're like the little teeny weeny glasses and not like, I don't know, hipster frames or something that you would be able to put on them in Pocket Camp or whatever. Just these little teeny little like Benjamin Franklin glasses, little dork glasses. Greta I had never heard of, but I actually like her character design quite a bit. Grizzly. I love the bears. They have interesting proportions, I think, compared to like the little bears. The tall bears are kind of interesting to me. Though, I think I did ask for a little help with his pose, because I was like, what else can I do to make him look more assertive and cranky or whatever? Yeah, the red lines here are my boyfriend stepping in, and he's like, here's what you can do to make him look more, I don't know, cranky. So I used his feedback for that one. Rarely do I ask, like sometimes I'll get stuck on one and I'm like, I feel like he doesn't look grumpy enough. What can I do to make him look grumpy instead of impatient like he was tapping his foot in my first sketch? Though I will use the tapping their foot for some other pose in the future, I'm sure. Here was another cranky bear, but I think I just made him look kind of like upset instead of cranky. I wanted him to be a little bit different from the last cranky bear. And Gruff the goat, which is interesting that there are actually goats in this game, which I guess when I was drawing the B-name villagers, I didn't realize that deer and goats were not the same, like, species. Like, you know how they recolor some of the animators to look like armadillos or whatever? I just figured deer and goats were just under the umbrella of deer. So I gave Bruce the deer a little beard to make him look like a little billy goat, and then it turns out there's actually, like, goats in the game for real, so didn't need to do that, but... And now I'm coloring all the villagers, which means the video is almost over. So thank you guys for watching. If you do want me to like slow down or speed up, let me know. I'm not sure if I need to take more time on each of these villagers or if they're at the sweet spot of just long enough without being like a 30-minute long video for each letter or whatever. So trying to get a nice medium between the two and talk about as many villagers as I possibly can in these videos. And that wraps up the G names. So that's it for the F and G name villagers. Who are your favorite and least favorite villagers from these 2 letter sets? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to follow the progress of the final full color Animal Crossing characters as I post them in alphabetical order there. And be sure to subscribe to this channel to see more videos about cartoons and cartoony things every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a fantastic day.